In today's episode, I want to explore why, as a civilization, we are becoming so addicted to doing everything so fast. Thank you for choosing the Weight Loss Woo podcast, where the true meets the woo. If you're interested in weight loss and wellness science, spirituality and self-healing, health mindset hacks, and universal laws like the law of attraction, you're in the right place. My name is Terry Renault, and my certifications in wellness, weight loss, law of attraction, and life coaching, just to name a few, have been helping people over 40 lose weight since 2015. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about losing weight fast. Now, many of us that have certifications in weight loss, wellness, nutrition, any type of self-improvement, it doesn't matter what it is. Whether you're trying to fix your marriage, fix your body, we know that this is not a fast process. If we're going to change the way that we look or the way that we act, we have to start by changing the thought patterns that got us on this trail in the first place. And that's going to take a few minutes. There is no such thing as losing weight fast. I wish there was, because I would have took whatever pill there was for that and I would have got it out of the way. So let's talk about this diet pill thing. It's very interesting to me that instead of changing our behavior, instead of changing our thought patterns, we would rather just take a pill. Well, of course, anybody that watches TV has seen commercials for drugs. And what's amazing to me is that the side effects are always worse than what it is you're trying to cure. They're like, well, here's a pill for depression. If you take this, you're going to feel happy all the time, right? Side effects may include explosive diarrhea, anal leakage, projectile vomiting. And you're like, ooh, what? So why would you want to take that pill? Because you're not going to be happy when your ass is leaking explosive diarrhea and you're vomiting everywhere on everybody. That's not going to lead to happiness. So looking at it, sensibly, we just have to admit to ourselves that all of these pills and shakes full of chemical crap, this is not what's good for us. In the long run, we already know if it causes diarrhea, we're going to stop taking it, aren't we? Because the cure is just, it's not worth it. And you don't want to suppress your appetite with a pill. It's going to be more harmful to your body than good. When your body believes that it's full, back in the day when my mother was constantly on a diet, were all these diet pills and appetite suppressants, and we were a lot more liberal with these things back then. We didn't know that people would take them until they died. We didn't know that it was speed. We didn't know what was in it. They said, oh, this Dexatrim or whatever it was back then, this will help you lose weight. And everybody was like, oh, really? I mean, we had never heard of healthy eating in the 70s and 80s. Hardly, like, nobody ate healthy. Like, just hippies. They were like the vegetable people, right? Nobody wanted to be like that. I mean, thank God that some of those ideas have gone right in the garbage, and we've moved away from cooking everything in bacon fat. I mean, that was part of my childhood as well. Like, everybody saved bacon fat, and then they cooked with it. My grandma used to have it on toast, like butter, bacon fat, and raw onion. Like, ew. So, thank God that we've moved forward from those days. There is no pill, there is no drink. And the side effects from these things, it's just not worth it. So, we need to change our thinking. I mean, we don't think of relationships. We need to do a relationship fast, right? We need to meet somebody, you know, spend 12 minutes getting to know them, get engaged, marry them, spend a week with them, and get divorced. Like, that would not even be logical, because people would have, like, what, 8,000 marriages in the course of their lifetime? The only way that we can change limiting beliefs is to look at it under a big, bright white spotlight and say to ourselves, okay, well, it's just not true, right? Doing everything quickly is not always the best way. When you're trying to change behaviors that you've had for decades, that's not going to happen in 12 seconds. There is no pill for that. Because the second you stop taking the pill, you're going to stop having the results, right? It's the same reason that diets don't work. Because the second that you stop the diet because it's too restrictive, you gain the weight back, and usually more. Because you said to yourself, okay, it's a sprint. I can make it. I can do it. I'm just going from here, 3 or 4 blocks, and then I can stop running. And once that time limit is up, you breathe a sigh of relief, and you throw that in the garbage, right? This is what happens with keto all the time, because people are like, oh my God, like I'm not allowed to eat anything, right? And I don't eat like this normally. I'm not like a vegetable, egg, meat person. That's not my thing. So they go from having all of these really addictive substances, sugar, carbs, bakery things. All of those things are really addictive. They go from all those comfort foods to like 0 comfort foods. And sometimes the recipes that you get for these keto diets they're just not as tasty. Let's face facts. We're so used to having all this fat and all this sugar. When we make the change to low fat and low sugar, we're like, oh, this doesn't taste anything like any of the food I'm totally addicted to. I don't know if I can keep going with this. So, those of us who have been on the weight loss journey know that it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. When people post in Facebook groups things like, oh, I gotta lose like 50 pounds for a wedding, and I don't care what kind of diet it is or if it's unhealthy or whatever, I'll just do it for like 30 days and I'll lose the weight, and then I promise I'll eat healthy after that. Yeah, okay, Karen. Sure. After 8 days of that, Karen's gonna drop off, and she's gonna go back to Doritos, beer, and chicken wings. And don't get me wrong, like, chicken wings they're flippin' delicious. I totally get it with the deep fried foods. But it's a once in a while thing, not a daily thing. So we see all of these products that, and all of these diets that claim, oh, super fast weight loss. And it took a while for our bodies to get into the condition that they're in. So if we give ourselves some time to get out of where we are, that is what is going to be better for your overall health. It's so debilitating to gain all of the weight back and then some. And so this is why it's so important to get your mindset right and just go easy on yourself. Okay, it's a marathon. Obviously, you can't like dive into it 100%. I'm going to follow all the tips, all of them. And I'm going to be so skinny, like in 3 weeks, no one is going to recognize me. Okay, good luck with that. This concept that we can do all the things and that is somehow going to last, it doesn't work because we didn't start at the beginning. Why is it that we don't love ourselves enough to stop putting all this crap into our mouths? Because this really, it comes down to addiction, and it comes down to just self-love, doesn't it? I mean, if you came home from the hospital with your brand new tiny baby, you wouldn't give it Coca-Cola in its bottle, would you? No? Why? Because it has no nutritional value and it's loaded with sugar and caffeine. And you love your baby and you would like your baby to thrive. So why is it that we don't love ourselves enough to just say, okay, I am going to just make a list of the behaviors that I would like to adjust, and one by one, I'm going to master changing them. And once I've mastered one, I will add another. If you're a sedentary person, getting up off the couch and going for a walk every day, that's a major accomplishment. And if you're able to do that, you should be celebrating that and saying, hey, good for me. I don't care if you ate a piece of cake that day. If you got up and you went out there and you walked for a half an hour or 15 minutes, you're still winning the game. So maybe on top of that walk, you start adjusting what you're drinking, and you're drinking your morning coffee or whatever you're drinking, water. If you're able to add the water every day and it becomes a habit, have a coffee, have a water. Get up in the morning, have a water. With lunch, have a water. When I have a break, I have some water. While I'm out walking, I'm drinking and sipping some water. And then you add the next positive habit. And maybe that's adding vegetable juice. I get a lot of bad reactions to drinking vegetable juice. People are like, oh my God, like juice made from like just vegetables? Gross. And I'm going to say it over and over again, probably until the day that I die. This is one of the best things that you can do for your body. You will notice a difference within 7 days, and it could be even sooner. Your body will start to crave the nutrition that's in that 6-ounce glass of vegetable juice. And you will notice increased energy. And you will also notice that it will start tasting good to you. It will. I can promise you that. Because your body knows how good it is for you, and your body will tell you this is freaking delicious. You should have another glass. So we add on new behaviors building on what we did yesterday. And when we slip up or we have a cookie, or it doesn't matter. So don't wallow in the moments that you feel are not successful. Train yourself into celebrating every single positive win that you have, every glass of water, every glass of vegetable juice, every time you go for a walk, every time you go to a yoga class, anything that you do that is healthy and good for you, celebrate all of your small wins, because these are the building bricks of the house of health. Try to look at losing weight and having a good plan for your nutrition and body movement. Try to look at it the way you would look at building a small business. If you open the doors, open your website, you wouldn't be sad on the first day, would you? Oh, well, I didn't make $1 million today, so I have failed and I suck. You would say, all right, I'm going to try more marketing and to get some more knowledge in this area. Maybe my website doesn't have enough blog articles on it. I'm going to, double down on the blog articles. I'm going to start a podcast. You would look for solutions. You would say to yourself, okay, what would it take for me to stick with being the healthier version of myself and to enjoy it? What would it take? Ask yourself good questions and give yourself some time to make the adjustments that you need. Yes, there are people that they seem to be able to do all of the habits. So don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to someone that's absolutely perfect in every way. They're like, oh, last month I ate a cookie. Oh my gosh. And you're like, really? Because some people, they just seem to be able to thrive in conditions that are really difficult for us. But they may not have started there. Or they may have had a family that was like, ooh, good health, salads, let's get active. They may have grown up like that. Now, in my case, that was not even an option. There were hardly any families like that. Because I was just born during an era where we didn't even know, really, what good nutrition was. I mean, we were eating salads with iceberg lettuce. Like, gross. But we didn't know. Like, we didn't have the access to the knowledge that we have now. We couldn't go on the internet and be like, oh, give me 509 ways that I can lose, 20 pounds by tomorrow. We didn't have access to that. But we did have access to those diet pills that killed many women who took them. But we didn't have access to really solid, positive information. So, just to round it off and close the circle, I want to remind you that fast is not always best, especially in the weight loss world. All of these crazy ass drinks full of chemicals where they say, oh, have, this weird shake thing for breakfast and then have it again for lunch. Those things, they're loaded with absolute crap, right? And they're expensive. throw that in the garbage. If you want to have just a drink, make your own drink. There's 5 million recipes for smoothies. Pick one and get going with it. Or do what I do. I just throw whatever I have in there. The vegetable juice, yeah, okay, I'll use that as my liquid. Yogurt with no sugar. Greek, yep, got some of that, throw it in. If I don't have that yogurt, then the good stomach gut bacteria yogurt, I'll throw that in. Whatever I have, I just throw it in. Frozen strawberries, okay. Spinach, kale, whatever I have, I just throw it in there. And usually I'll add a spoonful of protein powder, and I'll call that a smoothie. And I'll have that. And I alternate between that and vegetable juice. Just depends how I feel. Right? I might have a smoothie for lunch, I might have it for breakfast. Right? I don't have a smoothie every day. If I'm doing intermittent fasting, then I don't get up and have any breakfast. I'll wait until later, and I'll have a smoothie or I'll have some kind of a lunch then. Usually, I have one meal that's a drinking meal, but I don't tie myself to that. If I want to have eggs on Sunday and have a lunch of some kind, I do, right? It's a day-to-day process. It's a moment-by-moment process. And we're all starting with our own limiting beliefs and working our way through it the best that we can. So, as I always say, add one good habit, add another one and another one. And before you know it, you are on the road to building your house of health. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we will talk again very soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Weight Loss Woo podcast today. I would like to take this opportunity to personally invite you to the free, brand new Facebook group, Weight Loss Woo, where we discuss transformational weight loss and wellness on the daily.